All right, I'm going to show that we have an audience. So,
Well, let me at least put my phone away.
Yeah, I put your,
Well, I had to put it on
Joe
top.
wave.
morning, afternoon.
And we have Tori. All right, now. Okay.
Have you ever found yourself craving some fresh fruit, fresh vegetables, but it's the middle of winter? Well, if you go to the store, they're probably not going to have it. That's why I'm here to inform you today about home canning. I'm going to talk about the place, who, what, when it was discovered, the process, and some advantages and disadvantages of canning. So canning got its start around the 1790s when Napoleon Bonaparte, the man in the lower left, told people that he would pay a large sum of money to someone who could come up with a way to preserve food. A Frenchman named Nicolas Appert, the man in the upper corner, is the one who figured out how to preserve food in a jar by heat, and that came to be the most efficient method. After this, canned foods became very popular in the early 1800s, but mainly just to wealthy people. They had to buy new supplies every time that they did it, so the people with lower economic standings was not able to afford it. Until the late 1850s when John Mason invented a reusable lid, which came to be known as the mason jar, seen right here, which most people are familiar with. After this, home canning became widespread during the 1900s, but unfortunately declined in the 1960s and 70s when big corporations began selling more canned foods and frozen products in the stores. It became easier and people just didn't feel like canning their own goods anymore. So now that you understand who developed it, kind of where it came from, the next step is the process. This is the information that will help you start canning yourself. So the first thing you do is obtain your food. It can be from a store or like the fresh product in season, from a friend, your own garden, whichever you prefer. Once you get it, you need to clean it and prepare it. After that, you then clean your jars, as seen here. Next, you put the food in all the jars and seal them. Make sure the food is completely clean, the jars are completely clean, everything is very sanitary. After that, you put in whatever you want to add to your food. Here it's just salt. You try to add the least amount possible, which is why it makes it healthier than store-bought food. Then you seal it and you place it in the pressure cooker. The pressure cooker is one of the most efficient ways to can food because it prevents spoilage and food going bad, and it's more efficient. So after you place it in the canner, you then seal the lid and you wait around 40 to 45 minutes depending on the type of food or the type of pressure cooker you have, and you can fit around 7 jars also depending on the type that you have. After you place them in the pressure cooker, you then wait, and once it's done, you wait until the pressure zeroes out. After it's zeroed out, then you can remove the lid, remove the jars, and you wait until it's cooled and the jars are sealed, which they actually seal. You know that they're done when you hear a pop. So after you get done canning them, you place them on the counter and you count how many jars you have, and then you wait and count how many pops you hear. So you may or may not hear all of them. After this, you are ready to place them on the shelf and use for later meals. All you have to do when you get ready to use them is take them off the shelf, open the lid, pour them in a pan, and cook them. It's that simple. Just like you would anything you buy from the store, but it's something you prepared yourself. So now that you know where, when, how, who it came from, and you know the process of how to do it, you need to know what's good about it and what's bad, because I don't want you going into this blindly. So, one of the first advantages is it's cost efficient. The very first time that you can, you have to buy the pressure cooker, the jars, the lids, and everything else. So it is somewhat costly then, but after that, the next years, you don't have to buy the pressure cooker, you don't have to buy the jars or the lids or anything else. All you need is the food. So it ends up being more cost efficient in the long run. And it also saves you money at the store buying out of season goods that they raise the prices on to make a profit. Another advantage is it's healthier for you. While some people add a lot into them as they can, it defeats the purpose, but most people just add salt or some other basic seasoning to preserve it, and this way you don't have any extra additives or preservatives in it, making the level of nutrition go down. A factor that is not so much an advantage at first is time. As I said before, it takes about 40 to 45 minutes to do 7 jars. So if you can 20 or more jars, then you're looking at a couple hours of work. But after that, you're saving money in the storage, you're saving money not having to go and look for products that are fresh and that aren't damaged or something. You have it on the shelf yourself. Which leads to the next advantage, convenience. It's at home, it's on your shelf, it's in a cabinet. All you have to do is get up and go make it. You know who touched it, who handled it, you know what was added, you know it wasn't damaged, and you know where it came from. So you don't have to worry about all that stuff when it comes to manufacturers and shippers and the stores. Now that you've heard about the advantages and disadvantages, next is the personal experience. While I can back all my information through research, I can back it through personal experience. The second slide that you've seen of green beans is actually one that we can this weekend. It's easy once you know how to do it. It's fun. It's something you can do with your family. It is cost efficient. I have learned that. And it does taste better. Other people may not agree, but in personal experience, it tastes better than a store-bought can of green beans. So, this leads to my last point. The CDC says that 1 in 5 families still can their own food. This seems like a lot, but when you think about it, 60 to 70 years ago, this is how people survived. Not fully, but this is how people ate, how people saved money and saved for things that they needed more than just worrying about food or something. So, should it stay or should it go? Canning is a lost art form. It's something that many people don't know how to do, and that younger people don't understand even what it is when you say it. In the long run, as I said before, it's going to save you money, it's going to be healthier for you, and the process is not that difficult and does not take that long. So now that you know who invented it and how it came about, some advantages and disadvantages, and the process yourself, you are informed and ready to start your own canning.